What's going on, guys? I'm Tristan Duran and this is my wrecked Yamaha R1 that I'm rebuilding. And that's what it looked like a few weeks ago when I received it all broken up. That wasn't pretty. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, well, welcome back. Today is a big day because we're gonna put the custom-made fairings on the bike. So I've got that box full of brand new fairings. Let's see what I've got inside. I bought them on eBay. They're coming from China. It's my first time working with Chinese fairings. I want to get straight into it. Let's start with the rear of the bike and let's move on to the front. So it looks like the first thing I'm gonna have to do is to remove stuff from the bike. To put my taillight on the bike, it looks like I need to have my undercowl on the subframe, and to do that, I need to take the mufflers out. So the rear cowl went pretty nicely. We're gonna talk about that more later in this video. What I want to talk about now is the covers I have on the gas tank. There's a cover directly on the gas tank right now, and there is another cover on the air box. This one exists on the R1 OEM from Yamaha. There is a cover right here on the air box. This one though, it does not exist. This is just made from that Chinese factory that I bought from. I understand you just had a crash, you want to replace your fairings, and then your tank has a dent, is crashed up. It's very likely. When you have a crash, your tank is going to be damaged. So you just slap that plastic on it, and then you call it a day. It's good, it looks good. But let's see exactly what it looks like. So the major thing that really catches the eye when you look at that cover is that those circles right here are not lined up, and it looks awful. I am not happy with that at all. So you can tell here you got the paint from the tank, and on that side here I would say the fitment is pretty good when you look at it from here, but then when you look at it from right here you can still see a gap, and it really looks what it is. It's a part over another part, and the fitment is not great, and that is just plain awful. Then I look at the paint job. When I look at this cover as a reference and I look at the lines I have going like that, that is not acceptable to me. This is not something that I want to have. I'm putting way too much work on that bike to put that on the road. Then this one I would say is better, even though this one is going this way and then this one has a different angle, but it kind of matches here. So that's for the paint. And then I'm just gonna talk about the general design of that tank. When you look at the surfaces here, and I hope I can pick things up with the camera going around, you can see I have so much light and it should really help. When you look at this here, I think the shape is pretty much a replica of the OEM Yamaha version. But then when you look at this one, the surfaces are not smooth at all. They should be smooth and they're not. And I hope I can show that on the camera going. I guess here you can see a little bit over here. It looks like the mold they made. Yeah, you can definitely tell here. like when I go this way. That gives you a very good idea when I do that. So that was made by the Chinese factory. What I think they did is they have a tank, they put some clay, some plaster on it, then they work it to have like roughly the same thickness on top of that tank. They make a mold out of it, but it was just not really finished. So every time you make a part from that mold, you're gonna see the same imperfections as your original mock-up. And that's exactly what I see now. I mean, honestly, it looks like it's made out of Play-Doh, to be honest. I don't like it. And the second thing on that design is the lines. So here we go. That line here is pretty much the OEM Yamaha one. So that's pretty sharp. And you can see the radius on that line is pretty constant. But then when you look at this one here, it is, yeah, it's very obvious here. You can see how rounded this is here. It should be a lot sharper all around here and here as well. Yeah, I don't even see the lines when we should really see them. This one here is pretty obvious. Yep, this is pretty sharp. I like it. It looks good. There is a little bit of a snafu here. And then here, it's just all rounded. It just doesn't look good. This is not centered. This is not lined up. The surfaces here don't look good because it's not smooth. And then the edges are not as sharp as they should be. So I'm not gonna use that cover. Instead, I'm gonna take it off and I'm gonna work on the tank. So that's the damage on my tank right now. So it's nothing major. Last time what I did is I removed the rust, I put some primer, and I put some paint. That's why you see some white paint here. But if you look at it right here, you can definitely tell there is a dent and there is scratches on it. Because when I was doing that, I was looking at the covers online and I'm thinking that I'm going to be using a cover. It's going to be not seen. It doesn't matter. I'm just making sure there is no rust coming on this. It's going to be covered by a beautiful part that's going to be painted the same way as all the other fairings. Will be good. But now I'm looking at the cover, I don't like it. But to have that solution viable, to have like me working on that tank, I need to get the tank good in shape, yes, with the body fitter. But then after that, I need to have the right paint. I don't have any reference of the paint used on the fairings. Every time I ask them, they told me that they don't use references. They just mix, look at a color that looks good to them, and then they just shoot. I'm like, okay. So now what I need to do is I'm gonna go to a store. I can only use spray paint. I don't have the gear to do anything with a gun. So I'll go at the store, find some gray and white that matches those parts here. I'll take one of them with me and I'll look at in the store to find something that matches. If I can't find that, that's great. That means I can go ahead and do the body fitter and then I'll be able to paint and everything's perfect. But if I don't, then we have a bigger problem. So let me go to the store and I see you in a second to tell you what I found. So I went to the store with that part. They had a bunch of paint. I was very happy with that. I found all the silver metallic. I put them on the floor and I tried to match it with that gray here. I think I found it. I found a GM silver metallic that matches pretty well with it here. The metallic and the tint of gray is very, very close right here. So very happy with that gray. And then I was thinking that the white, which is not metallic, is going to be so easy to find one. I'm just going to find some random white. It's not the case. I was looking at a bunch of whites and the one that I found is not matching perfectly with it. There is a little bit of blue in this one on the cover compared to the one that I found, but I'm not too worried about that because when that's on the bike, the gray is what's close to the other fairings. So that has to match with the rest. But the transition here to the white is, if the white here is slightly different from the rest of the other whites, it'll be fine because of that transition we have here. So now I can get to work on the tank. For first time using body filler and glazing putty, I'm super happy with the result. So that's the patch right here, and it is very, very smooth. I run my fingers on it, there is no imperfections anymore. It's very symmetrical from one side to the other of the tank. I'm gonna put some primer on that, let it dry. When it's cured, I'm gonna sand down the entire tank with sandpaper, and it's gonna be 800 grade sandpaper. Alright guys, so I spent a lot of time sanding, I am done with it, I masked, I cleaned, now I have that matte finish on the entire tank. It's perfect, there is no imperfection, everything's very smooth, now I can go ahead and paint. The white is finally cured on the tank and the cover, it looks good all around. I'm really going to use that white as a base coat for my metallic gray to really pop. What I can do now is I can tape the tank and the cover to make my stripes and then go ahead and paint in gray. So I put one coat of clear on my airbox cover before I put my decal on it, which by the way, Builders right here is my brand. It's going to be completely related to what I'm doing here on this YouTube channel. Stay tuned for that because I'm going to be talking a lot about it in the future. But for now, I can finish my airbox cover and the gas tank. So I'm going to clear coat 2, maybe 3 coats on it and be done with the painting. And the clear coat is curing, I'm done with the painting. So I think it's the perfect time now to like the video and for me to put the lock on the rear cowl. And it works well. I waited for a few hours, so what I can do now is go get the tank and the airbox cover, put them together, and then put that assembly on the bike. I was about to put the seat on the bike and I remembered one thing. When I received the subframe, the rev nuts, those are the threaded inserts you have on either side to hold the seat down, were stripped. So I was just putting the bolt and it was just falling down. There was no thread anymore. So I replaced those inserts and I want to show you how I did it. This part right here is really a rivet, a rev nut. It's not the same part as this one. So it's been pressed onto it. I'm gonna drill it. I'm gonna protect my muffler just to make sure I don't accidentally drill into my muffler. So I'm gonna protect that. I'm gonna remove this one and I'm gonna press a new one on. So let's go ahead and do that. Well, very happy I bought that tool. It took me less than 5 minutes to fix the 2 rev nuts. So now I can put the seat on the subframe. I want to give a little bit of feedback here. I'm changing my gas tank lock because I want to have the same key operating my ignition switch, my rear cowl lock, and my gas tank. So I bought the entire set online on eBay, and all the suppliers, the sellers I could find on eBay had the same pattern. So the OEM one has 5 bolts on the cap that you see here. For some reason, I don't know why, the casting that is here has 7 bolts, and all the sellers online had that. It may be coming from the same factory in China, but that's why you saw me cutting to accommodate those 7 bolts on that black gasket. So now that you know that, I can put it on the tank. And the tank is finally finished and assembled on the bike, and that looks great. I am very happy with how my paint and my clear coat came out. It's super glossy. I'm very happy with the finishing. I may buff it in the future, but I'm gonna wait weeks before I go on that because I know that type of clear coat takes a lot of time to really cure. So for now, that's what I have. My white is slightly different on the tank. I kind of knew that when I was picking up the white, and I thought it wouldn't be that obvious, but it is kind of obvious. I hope you can see it on your screen, but between the white on my tank and on the rest of the fairings, there is a difference. The gray, the metallic gray, is to me the same. It looks very, very similar. I'm very happy with that. So now that everything looks very new around the seat, you can see that the cover that used to look good when the bike was all damaged and wrecked and I was happy with the cover. Now I'm like, no, I gotta change it. It really stands out. You got some scuff marks, some scratches on it. I think I'm gonna do that next in the next video. I'm gonna put my front fairings, my side fairings, finish the entire bike. So that's gonna be on the next one. I'm very happy with what I did today. I did a lot of things. So if you wanna see that bike completely finished, you should consider subscribing to the channel, activate your post notification. This way you know when I post that next video. If you like this video, well, like the video. I see you in the next one, and meantime, keep building.